And I'm going to tell you like this, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. We are here for one specific reason. I don't care if you really like Zack Snyder or not. I don't think you do. I think you bullshitting. But let's just say that you did. Let's just say that you actually championed Zack Snyder and the Man of Steel just like you told me you did. And that was me you were talking to, by the way, if you didn't know what my face was.
I can pull the tweets if you want.
I'm a black dude. Blackie's here, and Blackie's going to tell you about yourself.
He's black.
I'm black.
He is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You are.
So I'm going to tell you like this. I may not look it, but Mr. Burnett, I am almost 52 years old. You should be ashamed of yourself, if I'm being honest, because you're older than I am. Aren't you almost 60? Aren't you almost as old as James Gunn? Still talking like you wearing feety pajamas and a cape and a binky in your mouth? Here it is. Thank you for pulling that up.
Is that the one?
Pull it up. Stretch that up. Yeah, that's the one. Right there. Let me see. This Superman conversation is just fucking ridiculous. The easiest way to get rid of certain fans is to bring up sex. Then they go away screaming in terror. Now, what was the context behind you posting that, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett? Again, if you pull up his picture, how old is this man? Look at him.
Let's find out here.
And you are stomping the ground and championing a man who has some questionable characteristics about himself.
Beyond questionable.
A questionable past. And I'm not saying he did anything. 57 years old. He's older than me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what your acolytes are, Mr. Burnett. I don't care what you know. I don't care about your long storied history in cinematography. What you said today on my thread, The Lethal Geeks, was absolutely fucking ridiculous. No, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, I'm not going to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to stay the fuck in your shit. Because you opened your mouth about something that you really don't care about. We care about this bullshit. You don't. That's why you're getting paid. Mm-hmm. And don't say you're not. We don't get merch from We don't get merch from WBD.
You want to tell me it wasn't WBD that provided him with that Peacemaker costume?
We don't get movie tickets and free movie passes from WBD. We're up here every other week speaking our business, standing on business, and standing on principle. And that's what this whole thing is about. And you have none.
And I also want to add, we don't get any outside funding. We are self-funded.
By the way, we don't advertise. We don't advertise good night sleepy powder. We don't advertise aspirin. We don't advertise shit. We get up here and we speak truth. Now, regarding Superman, James Gunn is not doing anything different other than bringing a Guardians of the Galaxy Superman, just like I told you earlier. You told me I was incorrect. Yet, the news has already come out that this is going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy Superman. So you're saying that source was a liar? We know who James Gunn is advertising to. He's advertising to toddlers. He's advertising to kids, teenagers, and he is advertising, God bless him, to 60-year-old men who act like they are children. To wit, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. We didn't get in this for a Marvel person like James Gunn to come over here and destroy what DC actually is. And he is destroying it. He came out and said The Flash was one of the best movies he ever had. How much did The Flash lose at the theater?
Oof, a lot. As a matter of fact, Charles, read this.
This is from Sin Havoc. $400 million loss potentially for Superman L just to start. Ooh. They are already calculating that. Ooh. How much money is it worth? How much money is it worth for you to get up there and lie? Pennies? I'm going to keep it real with you. How much money is it worth for you to lie? I care about this fucking shit. I don't know if you care. Maybe you do. But maybe you're so commercialized now that anybody that decides to run DC, you're all with it.
You can't play because
we don't like a segment or the direction in the way DC is going. Suddenly, we're not DC fans. We are absolutely fucking DC fans because we liked what we had. It was profitable the way it was. By the way, I heard a little something in the grapevine. Did you know Donner did not want his Superman to be like that? Mm-hmm. Who all knows that? Richard Donner did not want his Superman to be like that. And RobertMeyerBurnett said that Superman was full of joy, full of hope, full of this and full of that. No, it wasn't. Go back and watch 78 Superman again. It had humor in it. Most of the humor came from Otis, Miss Tessmacher, and from Lex Luthor. That's where that's where most of the comedy was actually at. If you watch it. That comedy didn't come from Superman. That comedy didn't come from Lois. They had their little quips and their little funny shit in there, sure. And Richard Donner did not want that movie to be like that. He wanted it to be more like, guess what? Man of fucking Steel.
He wanted a serious take on Superman.
He wanted a serious take on Superman. Oh, by the way, I pulled something earlier. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it. Give me just a second, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Y'all can keep on chatting it up while I'm looking for what I'm looking for here.
So yeah, Robert. This is how much you're shilling for.
Pennies.
And it's important for me to highlight this to all of you out there because, again, put your money where your mouth is.
You know, and when we hear that whole narrative, Netflix can't afford the Snyderverse. Like, come on, guys, come on.
They could afford it.
So instead of bringing up their shares, brother, why don't you go ahead and bring up what Netflix is worth? Bring their actual worth up, and tell us again that they can't afford it.
The stock?
No, not the stock, brother. How much that company is worth? Netflix. How much they're worth? Bring up their worth.
They are worth $410.77 billion US dollars.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, Rox?
$410.77 billion US dollars.
They can buy WBD and DC twice over with money left over. Make it make sense. Make that make sense.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
One share, guys.
That's one share. Look how much this company is worth, and you trying to tell me that they can't afford it? Do you know that their gross unadjusted debt is $12 billion? That's it. That's pocket change. That's how much debt they have. $12 billion. And you trying to tell me they can't squeeze that out of that $410 billion?
If they could get WWE, live sports, NFL, no, they can't.
I'm telling you,
no,
and
they can't
UFC is coming with Zack Snyder's UFC movie. I guarantee you, man, something's in the work at Netflix to get UFC over there. And when that happens, like, come on, bro, they're going to be the king of live sports.
I can't find what I'm looking for, but it was a. I don't mean to cut you off, Rox, but it was a quote from John Byrne about Superman, and he was saying that basically. I'm paraphrasing now, but he was saying basically, if Superman is in that situation, you absolutely do what you got to do. He was referring to Zod. When you are in that particular type of situation, you do what you have to do. He wasn't talking about a soft Superman. Tell me, Where was Zod supposed to be imprisoned by the Man of Steel, this wet behind the ears Smallville boy who got into his first fight with his first villain? Tell me exactly where he was supposed to take Zod after he didn't kill him, didn't break his neck, and just subdued him somehow. Let's just say he was able to do that.
Now, keep in mind, there was also no red sun technology at the time. This is Superman's first outing. You know, the world
no red sun.
Yeah,
no prison, no technology whatsoever.
Doesn't know how to control Kryptonians yet.
The Black Zero ship was destroyed. He couldn't send them back through there. So what's your excuse? What's your excuse for Christopher Reeve Superman having a reverse red sun room in the Fortress of Solitude, taking away Zod, Ursula, and Nod's powers at the same time, breaking his hand, picking him up, throwing him down a snowy crevice, having Lois Lane punch Ursula in the face and knock her in there as well? That's murder.
And the fans had no problem.
No problem with that,
no problem.
Because it's 78 Superman, right? Or was it because it's Zack Snyder? Which is it?
And by the way, guys, Christopher Reeves, Robert, this is for you. The Superman that you love, Christopher Reeves did not want to continue being Superman. Why? Because just like Donner, he wanted to take it serious, not a comedy. Just like Zach and Henry, they want to take it seriously. But no, you guys wanted to make it a comedy because you're still wearing fucking diapers.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna shit on Richard Donner now? May he rest in peace, because he actually wanted a serious Superman take and not the one you actually saw that he put out. Mm-hmm. Why do you think he didn't do Superman 2?
And then the crazy thing is, when shit gets so bad down the road that eventually you get another Superman Quest for Peace. You know what I mean? All you guys are going to be begging for the same thing over. Oh, like, we can't do this. The universe is too messed up now. It's not serious. Nobody's enjoying it. This all happened before. This all happened once. That's what happened to the original Superman series. They corporatized it too much. They made it too soft.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Let me tell you something about WBD for a little bit of history for you guys. The actual Warner brothers, the four brothers that created this empire, Warner Brothers. Their mandate was a director's studio. Do you know what a director's studio is?
I would assume
it is a studio. No, you can answer the question, Brock. You probably know. What's a director's studio, bro? I assume
that it's a studio driven by director's visions. It's a studio where you are allowing the director to take the reins and do what they need to do.
Boom. You promised us you can make us good stuff. We're going to give you lots of money to make good stuff. And we'll stay the fuck out of the way. That was WBD's mandate. Now, giving them credit, they have released some bangers non-comic book related over the years.
Lethal Weapon?
But see, that's the thing right there. Had you stuck to, no, bring it up. Bring it up and up. Yeah.
That one of the previous ones.
Yeah. Hold it. Here we go. This one. All right. Yeah. I'm off the subject, but I need to read this. This was another one from RobertMeyerBurnett. He said, "No, I'm right. The films speak for themselves. Reeves Superman is full of joy, humor, and charm. It did have charm. It had a little bit of humor, not a lot, and it did have joy. Man of Steel, which I actually love, has no charm at all." Okay, now I want you to imagine. Just imagine. Now notice he said three things there: joy, humor, and charm. He just said no charm at all. Did it have humor then, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett? Did it have joy? Because I happen to see all three of those categories in Man of Steel. Were you paying attention to it? Or were you too busy worried about the seriousness of an alien who looks human, who goes through the same shit as everybody else does, and that somehow made you frightened? Is that what happened? Because he wasn't smiling with his hands on his hips all the time, with a fake ass grin, saving cats from trees and walking old ladies across the street? Mm-hmm. That's not real, bro. Where do you live?